up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Thursday Night Love and Business with Crystal and Lemoyne. Crystal, the one and only.
What's up? Oh, I don't have a microphone. I'm
No,
sorry.
you don't. No, you don't. I need to fix
Okay,
that.
there
There
we
it
go.
is. There it is.
All right.
What's up, y'all? Hopefully, everybody had a good day and is having a productive week so far. It is definitely uh, one of those weeks, man. It's been tenaciously hot. I never in life thought I would be watering my grass. Never.
Yeah.
But it looks like somebody sprayed diesel on it and it's just dying. It's just dying.
Yeah, I never in my life thought that we would pay to water our grass.
Yeah, that's what's happening. That's
Yeah, it
exactly
was
what's happening.
definitely by choice, uh not by force.
No. Absolutely. I didn't want to be the only yard in the neighborhood looking like it was Halloween already or something.
It's just kind of yeah, it's the Lord's will that it didn't rain. But anyway, I see that y'all are joining us. Please don't forget to hashtag live. Tell us where you're joining from. Share it
Absolutely.
with your friends. Tag some people that need to be in here having a good time with us tonight.
Absolutely.
So we need y'all to do that for us so we can get rolling here
Y'all say
tonight.
hello too. Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all drop a hi hello in the chat.
Yeah.
Let us know that you're on here.
Yeah, I've found that some people like to lurk and listen. Like some people aren't always as
As vocal on
actively
there. Yeah.
engaged in the chat. So if you're with us, we need you to hit those like and share buttons for us. Of course, replay people. I need y'all to hashtag replay and tell us
There it is.
where you're joining from as well.
My brother from another, Mr. Holland from the
What up, Rob?
DMV.
What's up,
From
Rob?
the DMV, Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. That's how they up there with some get the what is it, crab balls or some crab cakes.
Oh,
What is it that they
lobster rolls is
lobster
what's
rolls and
most
stuff?
important.
Yeah. Maybe
Most importantly,
up there getting it in, man.
I like lobster rolls.
We got to
but
get together and connect on some Q, man. I need to I hadn't advanced to smoking cheese yet. So we gotta connect on
that must be a northern thing because us southern folks really don't want cheese to be smoked. I don't really know what that means exactly to eat smoked cheese,
I
but
don't know. Maybe it can go on the what is it called? Charcuterie board? Charcuterie? What is it? How
I
do you
just
say
like
it?
charcuterie.
Charcuterie, yeah.
I
Okay.
just like regular cheese. Smoked cheese really ain't yeah, that ain't
That
my
ain't
thing.
it, huh?
Yeah. So what you got for us?
Man, I was thinking, man, I was kind of going down memory lane a little bit and was I guess I just want to ask, everybody that's listening. I know when, my first car was like a 1986 Chevy Caprice. It was blue. I had white leather interior in it. It was had crushed velvet going down the middle, like right down the middle. I thought it was super fresh, right? I thought it was super duper fresh. Crystal, on the other hand, she thought it was probably did you think it was like super ugly, or did you just think it was like tasteless, or what did you think about it? I just want to know, like, how much of an influence do you think your first car, or your car played a role in you, being with the partner you with? Does it matter? Did it matter? Or did you just not like it? Because Crystal just wouldn't ride with me.
Yeah, I was about to say, if the car had anything to do with it, then I guess we just wouldn't be together. No, I did not like the car. There were several reasons why I didn't like the car. Number one, the interior didn't match the exterior color, even though the attempt was for the interior color to match the exterior color. You asked my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, keep
all
going.
Right.
I ain't going.
The second reason I didn't like the car is, like we've discussed before, that you had to take your foot off of the gas in order for me to feel air.
That was
coming
only
through.
like when you first getting on the interstate, though.
Oh, okay. What's up, LaShawn? Yeah. Rob,
Nice car didn't have heating. It's been like, hey, you was in it though. You was in it. Crystal wouldn't even ride. She wouldn't even ride with me.
I rode with him on a few occasions, but what I'm saying, Mississippi heat is hot. Okay,
it is.
It's a different type of hot.
It's hot.
And for me to have to ride in the car in the summertime down the interstate with no air was pretty torturous. So but thankfully I didn't like you for your car. But maybe some people get played because of the type of car that they drive.
Yeah. Probably.
She said, "I knew he had potential."
That is, and that's what count, ain't it? That's the part that count.
I'm just saying
that's the part that count.
I mean, was hot in that car. Y'all, they also
car.
live in the north too.
But I'm saying, like, it should. Like, do y'all think it's fair? Like, I took pride in my car. I really liked my car. Like, I liked my car. Like, I got it painted. I spent all my graduation money on that car. Like, I got $1,100 from graduation, and I spent all my money on it. And the whole summer, I worked as a lifeguard, and I saved all my checks to get it painted. Like, I was getting paid, I think, $200 and some a week. So I saved. It cost like $800, maybe $1,000 to get my car painted. Another $400 to get the interior done. That was with the white leather on the dash and the seats with the crushed blue velvet with one streak going all the way
crushed down. What is that exactly?
It kind of it looks swirly. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Versus
I don't recall any swirliness.
That's because I had it. It was like that plastic over, like how your grandma would have it on her good furniture.
There was plastic, which is like, the third reason why I did not like riding in this car, because it's in Mississippi heat, and there's plastic on the seat, and the air doesn't work, and so I peeled my skin off of the seats when I got out.
The air worked, man.
It did when you were not accelerating. You keep saying there, but there is a big caveat in between air working, not working. It works. You're correct. It did work, but only when you were coasting.
Yeah, I had to get up to speed first. I had to get my RPMs. It took everything to get it going, and then once it got going, it was going.
Yeah, so, he said he had a '69 Volkswagen Bug.
Okay, too though. Like, was it stick shift? Was it all them stick shift? Ain't it? Like, I don't think it was. I don't know. Could that be an automatic? I don't know. That's.
LaShawn say my mother bought me a car for $300, and it had rusted floorboards and my slipper.
That's why you the queen of green right now. She said, "I am not going back. It is not happening."
Well, that was not my story, and my sisters have jumped me.
Yeah, they had
for saying that we grew up poor, but
that's 16.
I
got her driver like she got a new car.
I was very fortunate and blessed. So maybe I was a little bougie by the time I had got to Lemoyne and his car where the air didn't work. I legit got a brand new car with like 12 miles on it when I was 16 years old.
Yeah,
I did.
Mazda Protege.
A Mazda Protege. Yes, a 2001 Mazda Protege. And I was elated to say the least. It was a blessing. That car took me a mighty, mighty, mighty long way. Yeah. I didn't. I don't know. It was like, we didn't sell it. I kept that car for.
Oh yeah, we
like 15, 16 years or something.
Yeah. We didn't say that till we moved to Slidell.
Yeah, I literally drove that car almost to the wheels fall. Whoa, she said so. I don't know. So are the girls getting new cars at 16 too?
Yeah, we trying to set a different standard.
I lived in a small town. You know, I don't know. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to think on that.
New Orleans, you know, we driving. They going to school in Newman. That's a big. That's a
nice drive. That's grown-up driving. I don't know if I would want my 16-year-old driving that far of a distance in a brand new car. No, I don't know, Shonda. Hadn't thought about it honestly. We're a little bit away from 16.
Yeah,
so
5 years. We're 5 years from
that's
16.
Fine. Five is a good bit for me. So I'm gonna sleep on that. But I never thought about it. I never thought about whether we were gonna get the girls a car at 16 or not. It depends on their level of maturity. But right now my answer is a no.
Yeah.
Maybe not a brand new car, but I was also a very responsible
wrecked the first 3 cars.
See, there it is. Evidence.
All of them.
She said all of them. My kids wrecked their first 3 cars.
Yeah.
So there you have it. You know, I had one accident when I was in high school. But my car survived. So I was good. But I think it just depends on the child, but again, I was super mature at 16, and I was involved in a whole lot of extracurricular activities after school.
That would make a difference.
And so, my parents, were working still. And so I needed to get to my practices, and so it helped out to have a car. So
Yeah.
not really sure if we're gonna buy the girls a car at age 16, but we'll figure it out. But thanks, Shonda, for helping us to realize how close we were to having a 16-year-old.
I know.
I'm just getting over the fact that I have a middle schooler. So I mean, please bear with me.
She all three drive like they mama.
Oh, hey. Robin and Shauna here acting up. I'm not participating. Look, I don't know. All right.
It'd be like that. But hey, I appreciate y'all for joining. Like I said, like and share. Let us know that that you're watching live or if it's the replay.
Yep.
Man, I just wanted to kind of jump into it here, but I really, that car situation was on my mind. I was trying to find a picture of it the other day, but I couldn't.
That's fine. You did better than you typically do. Most Thursday nights, you go down a rabbit hole for like 21 minutes. We're only at 12
reverse.
Almost 13 minutes, so you're good.
So look, I had a moment the other day where I realized that Crystal and I have very different leadership styles, like very different. And I guess, it's one of those things where I was always, I'm the type of leader. Well, let me just give you the scenario. I go to it's a Saturday. I think it may have been last Saturday. It's a Saturday.
It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So I'm going around town. I'm doing some stuff. It's a Saturday morning. I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go and do my little errands, do what I need to do or whatnot. So in the meantime, I go. She said, "You just realized it. I'm sure you're right. I did.
He been new to some,
it's the implementation of it,
continue.
right? So here's what happened. I go and do some stuff, but I go to the shop, and when I get to the shop, the Meineke shop, I see that our front desk lady is, she in the back, kind of helping to do some to do some inspections, right? She's setting things up so that the guys can get it done a little bit quicker, right? And I was like, oh, okay, she back here, she team playing, bet. So let me jump in. Let me, she back here, getting it done. Let me jump in too. I was just finna breeze in and out or whatnot. So I said, well, look, what's next? Let me pull this car around and let's go ahead and get it set up, whoop whoop. So I'm like, hey, bet, all hands on deck. Let's get it done, because we had a customer or so waiting in the lobby. So I get back, so I help out, do what I need to do or whatnot, just to set them up. I drain the oil out of one car or whatnot, let them, and let them handle the rest with the putting the oil in and tire rotation and stuff. I get back to the house and Crystal was like, you went over there and helped out, didn't you?
Well, to be clear, I already knew that you did, because I knew you was going into a trap, and I looked at the cameras.
Okay, so you was watching.
I looked at the cameras.
Okay. So
it's not the same.
You don't
it doesn't matter. I knew that what happened was gonna happen, because I knew what you was going into. So continue.
So I go and I get back to the house and Crystal like, hey, what it took you a minute to do that. What happened? Well, I was going to sell some scrap metal. That's what happened. I was going to sell some scrap metal. And I was like, man, well, the line was kind of long to sell some scrap metal. Don't judge me, guys. It was a few $100s. I was cool with it. I ain't just gonna let the money just go. So I was like, yeah, hey, Hiker was over there. It was like all hands on deck. We was getting it done. We had a customer or so waiting. I was trying to hit up and get the oil changes out. It was, just to help out, help the guys out in the back. And she made a really good point. She was like, hey, why are you, why are you helping in that capacity? And in my mind, I'm thinking like, I'm the guy that my mantra is, I ain't gonna ask you to do nothing that I wouldn't do. Right.
But that's not fully true.
I don't know. I'll let you elaborate in a minute.
Well, I say that as entrepreneurs, there are some things that we hire people to do that we're not going to do.
Yeah, that we're not going to do, but not that I wouldn't do it.
Oh,
maybe I don't know
that's
how
your
to
truth,
do it. Yeah.
But it ain't mine.
Yeah.
I would literally hire somebody to do something that I will not do.
Well, see, I'm like,
totally different leadership styles, for sure.
I'm thinking like, hey, I ain't gonna ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do. So if we need all hands on deck, so I on my side, I was like, man, hey, our front desk girl, she all in. She committed. She going to the back and helping out because she know we need it, versus somebody that may just be sitting up front and just like, hey, I'm just gonna play my role because and let them figure it out back there because that's what they do. Yeah. Right. So I was under the impression like, hey, leadership is getting in where you fit in and being able to plug and play wherever you can to make sure that the team wins. Right. If you play quarterback and or you play another position and that position player gets hurt and you have to fill in for it, then it's like, hey, if that's what I got to do to fill in to make sure that the team wins, then we win. And that was
you saying as quarterback, if you needed to step in as linebacker, you would.
If I'm the best person to
as kicker, if you needed to step in as the offensive lineman, you would.
But I wouldn't. I mean, because that those two positions don't really. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm the last person,
Neither does a front desk person and a mechanic. They not nowhere near the same.
I know, and the way you explained it, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, my leadership thoughts were, even in my office, I will quote somebody's auto insurance. I'll quote it versus, like if especially if the team is bogged down versus just like, hey, that's what the team is there to do. Right. That's their responsibility. So I'm going to let them do it. I will get in and do everything that anybody else will do, but still be the person that, because I feel like that's leadership, right? I'm going to show you that I'm willing to work, put my hand to the plow with you, because when I ask you to do it, I need you to know that I'm okay with doing it, and I'm not gonna ask you to do something that I won't do.
LaShawn just said my motto is not doing penny jobs with my dollar time. You pay them to do their job, and I think like
I would go get the bagels.
The thought process behind how I operate versus how Lemoyne operates is night and day different. And we're bringing up the topic. Obviously we do business together, but we do also a lot of business separately. Like Lemoyne 100% runs the State Farm office. I am as needed, right? Mm-hmm. And at the Meineke shop, I am 100% operating that location, and Lemoyne is as needed. And when we say as needed, it means what quality or skill sets that each one of us has that the other one doesn't, that requires us to then be present, right? Yeah. And so we always have this running joke, anytime Lemoyne comes into the Meineke shop, I pretty much fire him in all positions that are available there. Because he wants to, be in those positions and be himself in every last one of those positions. And it just doesn't work that way. And so on that particular day, he goes into the shop and he sees that our service advisor is in the back, and her intentions were well. Like, she went to the back to check to make sure that the customers that were waiting in the lobby weren't waiting for a long period of time. So she was basically prepping the vehicles for the inspection.
Right.
Sounds like a great idea, except for my all-star player is in a position to get tackled.
Yeah.
By the best lineman in the state. Because she's operating in a lane or in a space of which she should not be operating. Why? Because she doesn't practice those skills on a daily basis. Where she is most needed is on the front end of the shop, answering the phones, greeting customers, taking care of the tickets, and then pushing them to the back to the technicians. Now, on this particular day, unfortunately, some of you may have seen, I posted on social media several weeks ago. We had one of our technicians, unfortunately, his son passed away. And so this particular weekend, we were, a little short-staffed at the shop. And so she goes to the back to kind of assist, just to make sure that the flow of the shop was going the way that it should be.
Right.
Now, I knew what the case was going to be on that particular day. I knew we were going to be short, but I chose not to be present there because in some cases, I want to see how my team is going to operate in times of adversity, see how they're going to function if they are short-staffed, if there are a lot of situations that they need to handle in real time. I want to see how it is that they're going to respond. I knew Lemoyne was walking into a death trap when he went over there. I knew they were short in the back. I knew that there was nobody, but my service advisor on the front. And I also knew that he was not going to return home anytime soon once he saw that, because he felt like, man, I need to put my hands in it. And what I explained to him when he got back was, you made my star player believe that it was okay to play in a position of which she was not qualified.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said it, he was like, oh man, I didn't see it that way. And
I looked at it like a pat on the back, like, man, she all in. Like, hey, we need to about give her a raise. Like,
and I'm sure we'll probably have some differences of opinions, what I'm saying, in the comment section. And you're A-okay to, weigh in on that. But for me, I understood that, hey, I'm training my team a certain way. And I trained them that way because I am not physically present at all times in my businesses. That's not how I want it to be set up. And I know that if I'm constantly lending a hand, they are going to expect me to be there lending that hand at all times. I'm setting up my systems and my processes in such a way to where when I'm not wanting to be there, and it doesn't matter for how long of a stint of time I don't want to be there, I know that my systems can function and flow. But if I go in there and say, oh no, do this and do this, or oh, I'll help you, or okay, well, you do this and I do that, then they don't get the opportunity to figure out how to think on their own feet. They don't get the opportunity to problem solve without me being present. They don't get the opportunity to say, oh my God, we have so many cars in here and there's not too many of us. What are we going to do to navigate? And so she said, so you knew you knew, but he did. Absolutely. Yeah. I knew, but he didn't.
Because I'm gonna look at it differently. I would feel, I'm talking about, super guilty. Like,
I would have went in there. If I had to go there, I would have went in there, dropped off what I had to do and say, hey, y'all got it. I'll see y'all Monday.
And walked out. I would have felt so, I'm talking about
but he's tripping out because you got a lot of customers, that's in the lobby, that's sitting and waiting. Right. You got a lot of cars in the back, and there's not many technicians in the back, right? The same thing that she saw. And I said to him,
this is our name. This is the brand. Like, this is, so let me do what it takes to make sure that we get these things taken care of.
And his do what it takes looks completely different from my do what it takes. My do what it takes says, hey, superstar on the front, you good at building customer rapport. So when people walk in this door, you need to make sure that you win them over with this Southern drawl as quickly as you possibly can. And then you hit them with honesty. Hey, unfortunately, we're a little short staffed in the back today. If you have some errands to run, we'd be more than happy to take you in about an hour. Or, hey, just to let you know, it'll be about 30 minutes before we can take you back. Please enjoy some coffee, some snacks, whatever the case may be. And we'll get to you as quickly as we possibly can. But I don't operate in fear of loss. So I know that I can step into the room and have the expectation of the customer to stay. Because I'm expecting them to stay because they came to me because they want me to service them.
And I can see that I went in with thinking, I don't want to make the customer disgruntled, right, by waiting, even though they may have that expectation. But I'm like, hey, I don't want them to wait if I can do something to help. And what I realized in this moment here, I think that my solution is probably a short-term remedy, but long-term, it may not serve the business very well because it sets up a bad expectation. You know what I mean, for the team. But I can see now, like, legit, I know that my reasoning for doing that was, one, I didn't want to both fear-based, because I didn't want the team to feel like, hey, man, he just walked through, you know what I'm saying? Because I always tell people we work together. Like, you don't work for me. I say we work together.
But they do work for you.
But they do. But I just, you know what I'm saying? It's just something about that verbiage that
they do work for you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's not that people know our heart and how we operate as entrepreneurs. And so, and even if they don't, I could care less. Like, I know what my intent is, with my team. Yeah. That's why I call them team members. I rarely use the word employee. I always say team member. Like, I'm developing culture in all things that I do, including the way that I address them. Hey, you're team members. So I don't say, hey, well, you work for me. I say, hey, we're team members, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that still doesn't negate the fact that I play a special role on that team. I don't play the same role that you play. My role is, hey, if we on a sports team, I got to be the coach. I got to be the one to tell you what to do. And I don't want them to ever think that we're on the same playing field, because then that separates, us in a completely different way. If they think, oh well, you just one of us. Okay, now I've lost the respect of said team members. Now it may be a little bit more difficult to get them to perform in certain arenas. Like they still need to respect me as as their boss, but at the same time, I can also earn their respect by how I address them and how I set up my culture.
So why would I feel guilty? Like what would create that? Because I'm sure I'm not the only person that would feel guilty if they saw their team members struggling to do a job that like you're paying them to do, but you're like, hey, yeah, well, you get it done, man. Like just get it done. Like am I the only person that will feel guilty or feel like, hey man, let me step in and try to help in some capacity?
Well, there was nothing wrong. I think you walked into the situation assuming that there was something wrong in place. There were things wrong. There were people that were operating in positions of which they shouldn't.
Right.
But having a lot of cars and a lot of customers is not wrong.
It's not a problem. But
right. And so what didn't happen was Star Player didn't communicate to the customers to say, let me set customer expectation. Right. Yeah. And so of course, after you leave, and then the next time I go back into the shop, I have that conversation. I say, hey, I saw Lamorne came in here and played games on y'all on Saturday. but check this out. You my all-star player. I appreciate everything that you tried to do there. Yeah. I said, but if you had been lifting this car and it didn't go all the way right, because you don't lift cars on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Or let's say you slip and fall on some fluid that's on the floor.
Yeah.
And now here you are, my all-star player, the face of the front. You can't come to work. And she says, you're right.
Because the guys I wasn't thinking about it.
Because the guys are not going to run the front. And that's exactly what I asked. I said, how would you feel if one of these guys back here with their greasy hands came up here and started answering this phone? She said, oh, no, I ain't having it. I said, and that's the same way that you should feel when you think that you're helping by going to the back.
So you think
and not playing the role. I said, well, what if the customers was up at the front stealing cash out the cash register? Why are you back here helping to check in a car? She says, I don't think about that. Now, I'm not necessarily reprimanding her in a bad way, but I did let her know, hey, I appreciate the initiative, but you were playing in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
That's like the quarterback being on the offensive line.
Right.
Or the quarterback. I get it. Sometimes the quarterback got the tackle, but God dog it, he should be the last person left on the field catching that person that he done threw this interception to. Period. Even though he made the mistake, he should be the last person to have to tackle the person that's coming back with the ball. Because you have to understand what your role is. And that quarterback is going to stand there and wait to see, is somebody else going to get him? Because I don't want to risk hurting a finger.
Blow the whole season.
I don't want to blow my knee.
Yeah.
So if somebody else can get him, please. But if you can't, I'm gonna get over there and get him because I'm a team player.
Yeah.
But that's the way that we have to see that. You know what I'm saying? Is that we can operate in a space. You know what I'm saying? We can do what we need to do in different roles, but we can't act like it's okay to be that all the time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, and I agree, but I do kind of. I think I do more times than not. Like, want to kind of. I don't know why, but I want people that work for us to feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't mind. And several of the guys like, man, I ain't never had like somebody to come and help me change oil or rotate the tires or something like that. And I'm just like, hey, to me, that's more of a communication, you know what I'm saying? Just to be like, hey, let's get it done. Because I want you to be committed because I'm committed. Right. That's in my mind. I'm thinking I'm showing some level of commitment to get buy-in from them to know that, hey, if I'm willing to do it, then you should be willing to do it. Because I don't have to. But they can't
be willing to do it because you employ them to do it. You think that they can only be willing to do it because you help them do it?
Say that one more time, a little slower. Let me. I can't look at you. I can't look at you while I gotta think about it. Yeah, go ahead.
So they should be only willing to do it because you help them do it versus because you employ them to do it?
No. I think, of course, they're willing to do it because that's what they're employed to do. They agreed to that. But I'm just saying when when it comes to like that extra push, that above and beyond, and again, that may come from a place of fear because it's more like, hey, when I need that little extra push, when I need you to stay to get this last car out or to make sure that we told this customer that their car was going to be ready or whatnot, and we just ran into some issues. I don't want you running out of here at 5:00. Like stay committed to get it done, right? So
I think that some of that is not necessarily now. I think that some of that is innate, but I also think that some of that can come by other ways, not by me, physically lending a hand, right? Like I know, without giving any specifics on this podcast, that we have done things for our team members in every business that we own that we would never have to go public with.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. Just from a heart perspective.
Just from a heart perspective, or the fact that, we come in and, hey, it's Friday, I'm buying lunch for the team.
Yeah.
Or hey, your kid got such and such going on. I'm never one to say, no, you can't do, a family item or whatever. Like for me, I would go short on a day because I know that you got, family stuff that you want to do, and it ain't got to be an emergency. It's, hey, we want to, take the family on a trip and the schedule's made out, but we need to adjust it. Cool. We'll be short this day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We've
Like I'm giving buy-in by what matters to my team, and me lending a hand to them doing their job might not be that thing. You know what I'm saying?
That may not be what they value.
Right. Not to mention that I'm not about to be there every day
doing it.
So I can't lend a hand in a space that I know I can't consistently keep that up.
Consistently may be the key.
I'm not going to do it.
I hadn't thought about that part. Like to be able to consistently do it. Go ahead.
No, I think that it's, I understand your perspective 100%, that, you want the team to, know that you appreciate them and you value them. And I say, never miss a payroll then. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, that they okay. Because
I agree.
Because if we're not in business to do the work that we have the businesses to do.
We don't
you know what I'm saying? We're in business level. Obviously to reap the higher benefits of it. You know, there's a lot of risk in being in business, but there's also a lot of reward in being in business. And I want to tap into as much of that reward piece as I possibly can, and a lot less of the work piece as I possibly can. That's my personal, opinion for being in business.
You want to be as far away from the implementation of the strategy as possible.
Look, I am the brains of the operation, and I don't want to utilize my hands in long stints of capacity.
So implementation, management, communication, and then imagination. Those are the 4 levels of leadership. So it's almost like you're saying, hey, I want to imagine it, and then I will get someone to communicate what I want done, and then have a manager in place to oversee it and then implement it. And I'm over here dallying in the implementation of it to make sure that they understand.
And I do as well, but when I do it, I think when we do it, we have different motives.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I, just like today, I was at the shop all day today. Pretty much from open to close. I left about 15 minutes before we were supposed to close today. And I did a lot of stuff today. I measured tire depth today. I ordered parts. I wrote tickets. I drove cars in the bay.
I did. No stick shift, was it?
No. I learned my lesson on that. I almost ran through the building the one time. I started the car and wasn't standing in it. It was a stick shift, and it jerked and almost took off with nobody in it. So no, but I did a lot of pieces and parts today, but I am compartmentalizing information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm taking in, if I look at a ticket 2 months from now for a new team member, based off of the information that I just learned today, this is what I should see. I'm taking in information so that can't nobody play the game on me in my own business.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, and I'm also showing example. So because I know, a new team member is going to come in. So I need to let my manager see how to make this flow happen in the shop. Yeah. And so, and I already know when I get in there, and I was out of the shop the entire summer. So I'm kind of, wanting to kind of get back in there or whatever and see, touch, and feel some stuff. Cause we traveled the whole summer just gone. And so I wanted to be in there, to see, is there anything out of order? Right. Is something not functioning or flowing the way that it should? Let me make sure I hit reset. Cause we have a lot of, new technicians on the back. I want to see what people are capable of doing. What are their habits? So I'm hanging watching.
Okay.
I'm hanging, learning, and picking up on information so that I can hold everybody accountable for what it is that they should do. But I'm definitely not learning all those things so that I can go and do them again.
Okay. So you just observing. So
Mhm.
you can then come back and strategize so that you'll know, okay, well, look, this is what I need to do to fill the gap.
Mhm.
Like this, how I need to play this and go on here forth now and forever.
And just like I said, earlier this week, it's important that we know how to operate in certain roles in our business, but I'm not going in there so that my team can feel better about me being there.
That's kind of my thought.
I'm there because I own the place.
Yeah,
you should feel great that I'm here because I own the place and you get to work here.
Yeah.
And that's not from a space of arrogance. It's like I don't have an expectation that if I'm there, I have to do just as much work.
But it's like, how like it seems like it just gives so much merit when an owner like is willing to get side by side with somebody.
To you.
Yeah, like because you ain't never really been a worker though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
case in point, why we're having this discussion,
really
we have
been a worker.
Totally
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
from a laborer perspective, or from having a very labor intense job. If the supervisor or foreman come out and he just looking around with his press shirt, and his hard hat or whatever, ain't picked up a shovel, boots clean, and it's like, man, bro, we got another 300 yards to go, and you over here just looking like, come on, man, we behind, get in the backhoe or get a shovel or something like help
but
out.
You don't know what they're looking at.
I don't. But I feel like I do, though. I feel like they're looking at us. They was looking at us. You know what I'm saying?
Could be. You know what I'm saying? Could be. I don't know.
I'm saying like that, but
I'm saying everybody has the right to have their own perspectives inside of their business. It looks like a lot of people are saying that they understand and appreciate both perspectives. I'm just saying that
I don't want to master it in being the labor, but I just want to show. I just want them to know, hey, man, I appreciate what you're doing, and I'm not beyond. I'm not beyond doing this.
But what if you are though? Like I'm okay. Here's the difference. I'm okay with saying that I'm beyond doing it.
Why though? Like why? Like, but you're not. You will do it. You measure tires today.
For a different reason. For a different reason. That is what I'm saying. Is that when I am doing it gathering data.
Okay.
You're doing it trying to, get someone to, respect you in your particular position. And
I want them to know more so that I respect them. And I listen, I know.
But if you don't walk around belittling people and saying, hey, you work for me.
No, I don't. But I think on the contrary, just because I don't belittle doesn't mean I can't intentionally try to lift up. It doesn't have to be neutral.
You don't have to lift by doing their work.
You don't have to, but I think it helps. You know what I'm saying?
I think that it's a time and place for it all. It's not that I have never, physically assisted in the work. I mean, it.
Yeah,
from State Farm to Amazon to real estate properties to the Meineke. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like hands on deck, it's gonna get done. Yeah. I mean, literally, we both can remember the days of State Farm where it was literally just me and you.
And we had
there were no other team members on the books, and we probably made more money in those months.
We did.
Because we just understand that we're gonna operate in those spaces differently. I'm just saying that my entire reasoning for being in entrepreneurship, well, not entire, but a good bit of it is time freedom. And I don't then want to go and lock up my time by doing the same task that I can employ someone to do while I think, about other things to do. Like for me, that's much better for me is I need to be in a space of which I can think to do other stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, because I can think about a time when you mentioned the rental property, like the tile guy put the wrong tile on the shower wall. It was supposed to be like a matte finish, and he put the polished tile on there, like the one that was shiny. And I told him, and he looked, and it was like a Friday, man, and it was like he was been working all day, and I was like, I'll help you take it down, man. Like give me a chisel or whatnot. I'll help you take it down. Because I needed to get it finished or replaced, whatever. But I'm like, hey, I'll help you take it down so that we can go ahead and get it done versus just like.
And you paid him.
And I paid him. But it was like in my mind, I'm thinking like as a human, like that's just a kind gesture. You know what I'm saying? To be like, hey, listen, I need to get this done. I understand.
Kind gesture
you did it.
is someone, you in the Starbucks line or something and you pay for the people behind you. Kind gesture is you see a family of 4 at the grocery store and you offer to buy their grocery. Kind gesture is you see a homeless person on the side of the road and you hand them a cold bottle of water. Kind gesture is you see an old lady that is walking across the parking lot and she got a cane and you need to, help assist her across the street. A kind gesture is you see a little birdie and his wing is clipped and you need to help the birdie to get off of the street because you see another animal coming and about to eat it up. A kind gesture is not paying somebody as a contractor to do a job and then you go help them do the job and they don't discount the stuff that they doing for you or do another job in the future for free.
Well, I didn't help them do the job, but they just did it wrong, and I was like, "Hey, man, we gotta get this corrected." So instead of instead of me standing around, you know what I'm saying, to watch them, I was like, "Well, hey, I'm here. I need to lock the place up, so I'm going to be here. So let me just." Help because that can expedite the process.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. Tell me if y'all, if y'all agree that Lamorne is right, calling this a kind gesture, paying a contractor at a rental flip property to do a job, he don't do it right, and Lamorne pays him anyway and helps. Put a 1 in the chat.
But hold on,
if that's a kind gesture. Put a 2 in the chat if we just paid somebody for us to do the job for them.
I didn't do the job.
Because it's a 2 for me.
He put the tile on the wall. It just happened to be the wrong tile, right? It was the wrong tile. I asked him to remove it in order to expedite the process so that we could both go home for the weekend. I said, well, hey, I will help you take this tile down. I'll help. Versus just standing there like, man, he just did it wrong. Because my energy could be used to help take it down, even though I'm paying him or not. It's still my time. I'm trying to get,
it's still your time.
Right. I'm trying to get
one of the most valuable assets that we can never get back.
I know, but what was I gonna do? Go out and play solitaire?
He didn't get a discount.
No, because he still did the job.
Quest said he got to discount me though.
Yeah. No, I didn't get a discount. I'm
just saying that we definitely have 2 totally different
we do.
leadership styles.
I think I'm more empathetic or something. I don't know.
Well, I will be the first to admit that my empathy meter is super low. And my friend, coach, and pastor Sean has been trying to help me over the years to up my empathy game. But I am empathetic in situations of which requires empathy.
Okay.
But this is a situation of which he owed you a discount.
Okay.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Like
he could come up short. He'd have been short.
He would have been real short. I wouldn't have paid not a dime, Karen. Because
why though? He did the job
wrong.
And then he fixed it. I just helped take it down.
With your help.
Yeah, it was.
There's no getting out of that. I'm just saying, I think that there are situations that require empathy. Yes. Going into the shop, you know what I'm saying, and assisting in a situation that wasn't necessarily the right flow of operation. Mm-hmm. That's not empathy. That was a moment of coaching.
Well, I agree with that. I think my viewpoint of wanting to pat the star player on the back and be like, hey, she's a team player. She ready to rock and roll. It didn't matter to her. She ready to get it out the mud and fly in the sky. Either way, she ready to rock and roll, right?
But you didn't picture a car falling on her.
No, I didn't. I didn't picture that.
You didn't picture her slipping and falling, you know what I'm saying, on an oil spill.
Yeah.
You didn't picture a customer coming in the front door and, taking all your money out the register because the front is unattended.
I agree.
You didn't picture, the frustration of, hey, I'm in the back handling some stuff I'm not supposed to. The phone rings. You got a cordless phone. You pick it up. You hastily answer, hello, instead of the actual greeting that you should be giving, and now you're missing customer detail or information because you're in the wrong lane.
Right.
Don't
partial and everything. Don't be 20% over here.
No, you can be
100%
100% on the front, setting 100% of expectation.
Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely love it, when we're, busy to that degree at the shop, because it keeps my, it keeps me on my toes. I'm like, oh man, it's like, I feel like I've had a great workout, once I've participated in that way. And then I look back at it and I try to figure out, okay, what, what gaps or something, can we feel, what was, what could have went differently, in that type of situation. But like I said, when I'm doing that, that's what I'm doing it for, so like now that I've participated at the shop for the last week or so, I filled gaps. So now I'm fixing processes that aren't necessarily right. Like there's
so
certain
evacuate.
So I can evacuate, because there are certain vendors, like we order our parts at the shop from all kinds of vendors, and there's one singular system pretty much that we use, which I absolutely love. That's why I love the franchise, because we have one singular system that we can pretty much order all our parts. We can build customer profiles, we build tickets, we can text the customers, like the whole nine. It's like the best CRM I've ever seen as it relates to automotive. Well, anyway, all of our vendors that we use, some of them are not integrated into this system. So I'm there for a couple of days and I'm clicking around, playing with stuff, and anytime I have to order a part that's not inside of this system, I have to call them. I got to pick up the phone and I got to call them. Well, I just found out that one of our vendors was actually able to be integrated in the system, and it wasn't there.
Yeah.
But that's something from an owner perspective, because I know it costs me time if the team member has to pick up the phone and call. So I'm like, oh, bet we're going to integrate that into the system. Now we got, 7 vendors in there.
Yeah.
Another tire vendor can be integrated in the system. Oh my gosh, we order a lot of tires from them. We call them to order tires every single time. Now I can see the full inventory right here in my face
without having to call.
Do you know how much time I just saved my team members on building tickets?
I agree.
How much frustration? But they didn't even know that was available. But for me, I'm looking for efficiency inside of the system, because I pay them for the time.
When you sit down and do it, you saying you ain't doing it to help. You're doing it to help the business, not to help the person that
does help the person.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
my overall viewpoint is bird's eye view. I'm trying to see what they can't see.
Yeah, and I'm trying to help them, like, alleviate a pressure, like
one time.
Yeah.
Now you got to come back in there and do that again.
Okay. All right.
Every single time.
Okay.
I can show you how to be more efficient. If I go back there and do an inspection, I'm going to go and do the inspection to see what's the most efficient way to do it. Yeah. What do I check while the car is still on the ground? What do I check when the car is in the air? What can I do while the car is in the air that is a part of the job? If you're doing an oil change, when I pull the car in the air to check the tires, I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil. Why? Because it ain't in the way of nothing else. So when I come in and it's a new technician and I'm walking them through the process of what it looks like on the back end of the shop, the first thing I'm going to tell them is, when you do an inspection, you take all of your photos while the car is down. You check all of your lights while the car is down. When the car goes up, you make sure you bring that oil under there and you start draining the oil while you checking each one of these tires. Because I don't want you standing here watching oil drip, and you could have done that while you was checking all of these tires, while you checking the catalytic converter, while you checking the muffler. I know this stuff because I got under the hood and did it, and then I left.
So you looking for the flow of it.
The flow. But I went in there and did that, and I can do an inspection to that degree in about 10 minutes. How long it take you to do an inspection?
I don't know.
About 45 minutes.
Man, they don't take no 45.
And you don't put my odometer in there. You leave my odometer out because your flow is out. You get in the car, what's the first thing you see? Odometer. What's the thing you put in the ticket last?
No
odometer.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, good people. Is the flow. The flow matters. Yeah. But when I go into the workflow, the actual workflow, I am seeing how can I build my team in such a way that if 25 cars show up here today, I can handle each and every one of them, and they not, wilding out because they got 25 cars in here today. Yeah. And they always say stuff like, when Krista at the shop, we be getting 1,000 cars. It's because I'm efficient. And so then I'm training them for that level of efficiency. Because when I'm not there, I don't want you to do 25 cars. I want you to do 30.
And see, I guess, and the difference is if I'm there and 25 cars show up, I'm hustling, trying to make sure we can touch all 25. Crystal is thinking, if it's 25 today, it's gonna be 30 tomorrow. So how can I improve this process to make sure that the team that I do have
100%
gonna be able to manage it? Because I ain't gonna be here, right? I know, I'm not gonna be at the operation. So we may win today, but we'll fail tomorrow.
If I ain't here,
because I was the quarterback, I was the star. Like I was there, I was the sixth man, so to speak. I was the person that was just able to come in and do some of the basic stuff that just help expedite it for that short term versus really fixing it.
I never want to be the all-star on my team, like at all. Like I really do want my team to shine, and it makes them feel, and then it gets to the point where it's competition, so like if I go in the shop and I work the front of the shop on a Saturday, I come back in on a Monday and I brag. I come back in on Tuesday and I brag. I come back in on Wednesday and I brag. Why? Because I know the next Saturday I ain't gonna be there. And so the only thing that's ringing in their head the entire time is Crystal did 20 cars on Saturday. And so the next Saturday that comes, they know that if they don't do 20 cars, they gonna feel some type of way. And so what happens is I'll come back on a Monday or Tuesday or whatever from a Saturday that I wasn't there, and we did 18 cars, like that's how they respond. But I think that obviously it can be done either way. I would prefer that it's done in an efficient way and without me.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. I mean, I got to give it to you. And Karen said because she dominates, subdues, and multiplies. So, hey, I agree with you, Karen. Apparently, maybe I got a laborer mindset or something. I don't know. Maybe
I need laborers. I just would prefer to be married to a non-laborer.
Well, I don't think I'm a laborer. I think I just I'm just like, hey, I just want people to know that I appreciate what they do, and my way of showing that is, hey, I'm willing to do what you do, player. Like I'm willing to get in here and get in the trenches with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it, bro. The same way you get oil and dirt on your hands, I'm willing to get oil and dirt on my hands, then go over here and write a $5 million life insurance policy, or go and do whatever it is that I need to do. It doesn't matter to me. Go sleep on some 2003 account Egyptian cotton sheets and like I'm okay with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just my thought versus being like, hey, nah, bro, that's just what you do.
Well, I think that the difference is you don't want to build the expectation of the team that that's what you do, and I think that I've made it very clear, that I can do it. I will do it. Mm-hmm. It's not beneath me to do it, but I don't do it.
Right. And that's a difference.
And I don't do it not because I'm better than. I don't do it because I am serving you best if I don't.
But it's like, I'm that dude, like if I'm at an event or something like that and the trash need to be taken out, like
we'll do it.
Yeah.
We're at an event though. But inside of our businesses, then, the team members see us, in a way. I'm just saying that I don't do it so that, bad habits are built inside of the team.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I also want to make sure that they're building muscle, inside of their respective roles.
And that's what I think is probably more key to that. Because this, like Cedric said, like empowering your team to be successful. Mm-hmm. When I think about it, I think about like growing up, how many times my mom probably aided me in some situations that I probably shouldn't have been aided in, which didn't necessarily set me up to be successful, or it set me up to have some lessons as an adult that I probably should have had as a kid.
But I mean, that's some deep soul searching. But would you not say that that's the exact same thing that you're now doing to your team? What I'm saying. So that may be why, I'm trying to think where is my thinking coming from, right? Mm-hmm. Where is this? Because I feel like in my mind, in my heart, I'm like, man, I would feel guilty. Like I really would. Like that would be I would like try to walk out and not speak or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just like I'd probably try to make it seem like I had something super pressing to do just to get out of there, to come back to the house to do nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Just so that I wouldn't want them to feel like, oh man, you free on a Saturday. And
well, it sounds like you're taking on responsibility or, like burdens that don't belong to you. Like I don't think that there's any team member that says, oh my God, man, Lemoyne came over here. He didn't help us do any work. He just left. Like, I don't think, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, and it's so weird because, and this is the running joke for me, because when I go in there, they'll say, oh, Crystal got her backpack. She gone.
Yeah.
Like, they'll see me come, I go in my office, I close the door, I do my meetings, send some emails or whatever, go in there, tell them, hey, this, and they'll come back. You about to go get your backpack, ain't you? Yep, I'm gone, but they understand that I have a role, and they also understand that there are things that I have to do that they cannot do. And for me, it's more important that I save as much brain power as I possibly can to do the things that nobody else can do but me.
I agree.
But if I go into, any business and I exhaust all of my brain power helping the team to do what they do, I then know that I'm not going to give 100% to only the things that I can do. And that's just, what I'm saying?
That's facts. That's real. That's real.
That's just not fair to the team.
That's real.
They would be quite upset if I miss payroll.
I agree. And they gonna forget all about you helping change.
They gonna forget all about that because their check is late.
Yeah. I'm talking about it can't be a day late. You know what I mean? Like,
so for me, I just try to make sure that I do want to set a good example. I am a team player, but I'm playing the role on the team that I hold. I'm not trying to play, everybody else's role on the team.
That's real.
And for me, when I set that up in a system, that's why, me and Lemoyne had that chat after he got back that day. It was like, hey, dude, since you don't spend a lot of time over there, just don't go by there because you messing up my system. My system is we don't do that over there. You know what I'm saying? Like they understand this is where you should function. This is where you should function. Right. And if we see it out of order, we should address that. And I told him, you just tell the team member, hey, I appreciate what it is that you're doing, but this is not the role I need you to play right now. As my all-star, I need you to play in this position, and I think that they will respect that level of honesty. And the other, part behind why I always ask that Lemoyne doesn't set himself up as a quote unquote person on the team versus the coach is so that, when he called me and it's in the middle of the day and I'm randomly napping, I'm napping.
Yeah, that's real. What I'm saying? That's a real.
And so I'm like, don't set yourself up in such a way that your system needs you, and then when I'm napping, you calling me.
Yeah,
I want a nap.
So let me ask you this,
because I set up my system to nap,
and then you take full advantage of it. You take full advantage of it. Any given day. So let me ask you this. You know how we always we've seen these movies or seen these jokes where people be like, that's not in my job description. Mm-hmm. That's not in my job description. Mm-hmm. Like, so what do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Like you have somebody that you hired to do one thing and then you ask them to do something else, or maybe that expands their job description, like or job or whatever, or that really is really not within their job description, but you asking them to do it. Do you feel like they're within their rights to say that's not in my job description?
I think that they are, but I have never hired a person that has ever said that to me.
Okay.
But I have also not to my knowledge anyway, I don't think that I ask people to do things that are, like outside of the perimeter, right? So like, for instance, I wouldn't tell my service advisor that they now need to change oil. They have every right to tell me that's not in my job description because I didn't hire them to do that. But as the type of leader that I am, I wouldn't ask them to do anything outside of their role or responsibility because again, I know the layout of my team. So I wouldn't even, put myself in the position to be, carried that way. Now, on the flip side of that, I have had team members to do things that were not inside of their job description. Mm-hmm. And then I made sure to reward them for doing that.
Okay.
Intentionally. Like, hey, I saw you did such and such, and we have those conversations. It's like, hey, this team member has been doing this. And I already know they ain't supposed to be doing that, but they doing it and they doing it well.
Yeah.
And just so you know, I compensate them for that.
Because they did it.
And because I want them to keep doing it.
Okay.
Because they took it off my plate and they seem to be doing it well. So thank you.
Acknowledge what you want to see repeated.
Yeah.
Reward what you want.
Yep.
I got you. I just wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know because again, my thought was always, or has been for a long time, like I'm looking for team players. But
you are looking for team players. But the part of team players, not like oh my God, we're a team. It's not just that, but it's efficiently playing your specific role.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you're actually being the best team player.
That's how professionals become professionals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in high school, you just you hodgepodge. You know what I'm saying? In college, you may go from high school playing a wide receiver to college playing a defensive back, or you're playing quarterback, now you're playing receiver. But when you get to the NFL, when you get on a professional level, you pretty much in the position that you go play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The coach or the GM go figure out something else, but they're not gonna really just flip you back and forth on the majority of it. So when I look at it
nobody is looking at you to do anything else outside of that.
Outside of your role.
Nobody. Yeah. There shouldn't be an expectation, for any team to think that the business owner is supposed to come in. And I get it, clearly this is a business podcast. So for folks that, get offended to say, well, the business owner should do X, Y, and Z. Well, they own the business. So they don't really have to do any of that. They just have to assume the responsibility of all of the risk and then gain, whatever reward that comes with that.
Yeah.
But the biggest deal of it is that they obtain most of the risk to be in that particular position. And so they don't have to take on every role and responsibility inside of the business. The business owner should not be playing inside of roles that team members should be in. They really should hold their role steady and then train and develop their team to do the roles that they were hired to do.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just that on that. You shouldn't have a workforce of people, expecting you to do the exact same thing that they do. And when I start hearing things like that, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I don't think that this is a good place for you to be.
Yeah.
When I hear people say stuff like, which I've heard it before, you walking around, I heard it in the Amazon station, several times.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Well, the owners, they don't deliver packages, blah, blah, blah. Well, what? Okay. There was an expectation for someone to have close to 100 employees and deliver packages and make sure that all of the hours are met for all of those employees every 2 weeks on payroll and pay tens of thousands of dollars a month in insurances and, deal with legal issues. And you're right. I should be delivering packages. That is crazy to me. But that's the thought. Like, it's the mentality sometimes that we don't address, as business owners. We don't address it by coming in and actually playing in roles that we shouldn't. No, you shouldn't see me as doing the same things as you. It should be a separate line.
Because they can't cross over.
No, does the offensive team and the defensive team even watch film in the same room? Do they even study plays in the same room? They do totally different things. And so if I'm playing on a whole different side of the field than you, why do you expect me to show up, you know what I'm saying, and watch you run your plays? Why do you expect me to show up?
Now that hit different when you say it like that.
That's the truth of the matter.
Yeah, the truth.
If we're doing two totally different things, wouldn't you rather me be off learning how to be a better business owner so that I can continue to sustain your employment versus helping you change oil?
Yeah. I mean, that hit different.
I go off to conferences for months or weeks or whatever, you know what I'm saying? At least once a month, we probably on a plane or something, going somewhere, growing and developing. That makes us then the better business owner to then sustain these people's livelihood. And if I say, oh, well, I don't want to keep going places because I don't want my team to think that that's all I do is go places. I'm saying I don't think that those should be people that are on our team if they can't understand that we go so that we can grow and develop to be good business owners for them. All while at the same time setting culture and expectation for the places of which, we do business.
Yeah.
But
that's real though, man. You hit me when you said, that offensive defense, do they even meet in the same room? Like, is it fair for me to be like, hey, you show up to watch me run my plays when you could really be over here watching film, learning your own?
You could be studying whatever the next opponent is about to be doing on your end.
That hit me different.
But that's why I'm saying that I take full ownership. Not to say again that I would never lend a hand, because I do.
No, I got that.
I do. You know what I'm saying? All of the guys are in the back working on a car. They'll do. Somebody comes to deliver tires or something like that, and they'll stop what they're doing to help the person on. I said, no, you guys go ahead. I got it. It's the little one-offs, I think, that make the bigger of the difference. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I really need such and such, or, in this particular business, we might get like rebates and stuff like that. So if they give us rebate cards, I'm gonna give them straight to the guys. Man, y'all go buy whatever y'all want with these rebate. I don't, like that's right. Like that's me, you know what I'm saying? Lending my hand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't always have to physically do it.
No, I agree.
All I'm saying.
I agree.
I think we can find other ways to do it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Karen said this is helping me to learn how to capitalize on my husband's strengths. Absolutely. We are all different. All different. And Lemoyne, I will say that he builds rapport with our teams in a different way, of which I build rapport. But what's so weird about it is, I think the teams also respect us in different ways. Like Lemoyne said before, like I show up at State Farm and they swear I'm there to fire somebody.
Man, Crystal showed up. Somebody finna walk the Green Mile.
But that just means that, you know what I'm saying, they respect the level of accountability that I place, that I place in Forrest. But if Lemoyne walks in, guess what they think at the shop? It's time to kick back and have a quick conversation.
Catch up a little bit.
Let's catch up. Let's not do work.
I ain't gonna say they thinking that, but
they are. They like, oh, Lemoyne, what's going on, man?
Yeah, but I don't think they thinking now it's time to play though. You know what I'm saying? But
that's exactly what it is. They'll be in the middle of a 4-hour job. Lemoyne comes in the front door, and I'll tell Lemoyne, do not go in the back.
But I need to get this car. What they got, they car guys. So I just might be like, man, what you got going on this one?
But like, I'm saying, read the room.
And I want to learn too.
Read the room. So if you come in there and they not working on a car at all, that's a great time to catch up. But Lemoyne will come in there. You got a customer waiting in the lobby. He ain't read the room.
Man,
customer waiting in the lobby. You know what I'm saying? 3 or 4 cars in the back being worked on, and he come in there. Hey guys, and everybody put down all their tools. What happens when they put down the tools?
That ain't true.
We are paying them to do nothing.
That ain't true.
But it's not true.
I do feel
I do have camera footage,
but I do feel a little like indifferent when I just wait, like hey, like from afar versus going to fist.
But that's an internal issue. Like I don't think that anybody feels that way about you. You have internalized these thoughts to say, if I don't come back here and have a long conversation, they're gonna think that I'm better than.
No, I ain't saying that. I just want to say, like, just, hey,
read the room. Yeah. Is all yes. Shavonda, I have camera footage because I'll know, right? Like if I'm paying attention to the flow of the shop for the day, and Lemoyne, comes in there, the first thing I'm gonna do is look at the boards, because I already know he finna go back there and pause work. Okay,
man.
In the automotive industry, time on task matters big time, because certain jobs supposed to take a certain amount of time. And if they take too long on a job, we don't know, like it's a walk-in type of business. You don't know if 3-4 cars about to walk in the door or 1 car is about to walk in the door. Yeah. So you have to perform at all times as if droves are about to come in. Because that's how it happens. You'll go like 3 hours and like nobody came in there. And then boom, it's like 10:32 a.m. 5 cars come out of nowhere, and you trying to figure out what's the best way to put them, what's going to be the best flow. And so I just always ask that he's mindful of what is happening, because he really is going back there to say, hey guys, I just want you to know that I care. And that's a 10 to 15 to 30 minute conversation.
Wait, I ain't gonna say it's that long, but yeah, it's just like, hey man, how's your family? How's everything going? Like, how's your weekend, man? How's your people?
And I always say he never stops to think to see how many conversations he's had after the shop is closed.
No, they don't stick around.
Not a one.
They don't stick around to have a conversation.
I said, I tell you what, come around one day at 5:59 p.m. come around. And see, he's never done it though. He's never done it to play me out on it. But I just said, come around at 5:59 p.m. We close at 6. Well, we used to just change the hours. But I said, come around at 5:59 p.m. and see how many people hang out with you till 6:30, 7 o'clock, shooting the breeze.
See if they really enjoy talking.
See if they really like talking to you like that. Cause he won't do it because he know.
Man, I ain't never just. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just ain't never. You know, I ain't never just trying to talk to him because I've already been there. So maybe I should just show up at like 5:45 and then wait in the front and then go to the back and be like, "Hey, what's going on, man? How's the weekend?" And see if they say, "All right, well, I'm going."
Yep,
I'm gone.
Yep, I guarantee you that is what's going to happen. But
so they only talking to me because I'm paying for their time.
That's 100% true. That is 100%
like I ain't got
true.
No friends, man. Like I'm paying for friends or something.
Hey,
like
I'm just letting you know that the leadership styles are different for a reason.
Okay.
You know, don't get me wrong. I have employed some people that are now to me. She said, call a meeting to catch up at 5:55. Yep, right. That's what you do. But I really do. I enjoy, our team members, you know what I'm saying? And in a lot of cases, at this point, there are some that are considered family and they couldn't get rid of us. I mean, even team members, that left long gone, you know what I'm saying? They still call on our birthdays, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that or whatever, know? So I'm like, we make family with our teams, which is why I'm like, dude, you can't believe that, anybody would think that, you know what I'm saying, about you, but by way of how ex-team members, you know what I'm saying, even respond, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, for folks to still call you on your birthday, you know what I'm saying, for people to even know your birthday, it just doesn't happen that way. I'm like, you gotta know that you're adding value, you know what I'm saying, to these people's lives. Of course. And it's not because you're doing the exact same thing that they're doing. It's because you genuinely care, about the human. And that's what matters to me, is like, I want to make sure that you're good as a team member, not just because you're employed, by one of our companies. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that you're good as a human. And I make sure that they know that. But not by, let me pull you away from what I'm paying you to do right now. Yeah, I got you. Two totally different ways.
Yeah, it is. It's two totally different ways. Call it 6 or half a dozen. But I do think that I have some tweaking to do. Just overall, I do think I have some tweaking to do. But it's more than one way to skin a cat. I do think that
I agree.
I tend to try to get more out of people from a relational standpoint. You know what I'm saying? And you just like, hey, bro, I'm gonna hold you accountable now. I don't need to be your friend. I don't need to know what you did over the weekend. I just need you to know that this is what I need from you. And I'm gonna treat you fair, but I need you to know that this is what I need.
But I don't say it like that though. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I just set rules and expectations. Seriously. I set rules and expectations from the beginning. And then I hold them to those standards while I treat them well. Yeah. Like, but I don't try to get people to like me and then say, hey, just because since you like me, please follow my rules. Like, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say, hey, here are the expectations. Here are the standards. This is what we do. This is why we do it. If you want to be a part of this team, you have to hold to those standards. Oh, by the way, I'm about to treat you very well. Now, I don't say that to them, but I'm saying after I've set all of those rules and expectations, now I am going to make sure that you know that I care just as much about you as a human than I do about you being one of my team members. But I consistently put that in on a daily basis. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, case in point, like, one of the team members, they asked for some books on financial literacy and stuff, whatever. I go on my bookshelf and I get a bag full of books. A bag full of books. And I give them to her in the order of which I think she should read them. And then the rest of them, I store them in the office so that I can ask her, hey, have you finished such and such? So I can give her the next one on the level. Because I know that I read those books in this particular order and they changed my life. So then I say, I know the order I'm gonna give them to her, because I know if she start here, this is fundamental and foundational. She don't know that I went to that level of degree to help her with these books, but I did it intentionally because I care about her as a human. But I'm not wasting my productivity time on the clock in no type of way. but I'm adding value to her as a human.
Yeah.
There's different ways, you know what I'm saying, to do it. But at the end of the day, I still need her to do her job.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so I think that there's a delicate balance to it all. And then on the days and times where it might, you know, if it's a super slow day or something like that or whatever, those are the days where I might find the time to have those conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the days where I might just intentionally ask engaging questions. Like, but I know I can't do that as a business owner. I'm doing a disservice to the business by asking engaging questions during time of which they should be servicing our customers. So the question is, am I going to, you know what I'm saying, be the boss that I'm supposed to be? Right. And engage my team in the way that I should engage them to help them to be productive so that they can then serve my customers well? Or do I let the business fall apart because I want to be friends with my team? I have to choose.
Yeah. I mean, when you say it like that, I guess you do.
Well, I don't know any other way to say it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not interrupting the money at all. No, because I have learned that there is a way to do both.
Yeah,
there really is a way to do both. I'm so serious about that. Like you can make money and build a good team and have a great time and enjoy, you know, the business that you're developing all at the same time. But you have to be clear about what it is that you're doing and with all of the people that are involved with it. You know what I'm saying? You have to be upfront and transparent about that. I can't make them think that I want to be there every day because I know that I don't. You know, I tell them I'm doing you a disservice if you see me every day. I also tell them if you see me every day, something is wrong.
Yeah. And I'm here to fix it.
And I'm here to fix the problem. You know, and so when they understand those concepts, then they start to realize, oh, she's not here. She's trusting that we're doing a great job. I must be doing, well with what I do. So I come in, I want to be able to come in and give praise, hit some high fives, buy some lunches, crack some jokes, sign whatever documents or whatever, or transact whatever business I have to, handle problems, and then go on about my way. And that's how I want to, be set up, in any business that, that I have. That's just my expectation. Now, you other business owners may have a different, expectation for your business, and that's cool. But, for me, that's how I want to operate. And then, Lemoyne, he operates, the way that he wants to operate. And we just understand that, hey, in my world, I'm good with that. And in his world, he's not good with, how I operate. And we don't have to operate the exact same. We just ask that, when you come in my space, if I come in his space, don't fire nobody, don't move nothing, don't touch nothing. If his papers all over the place, mean he know where his stuff at. When you come in my office, it's clear, clean. Like, I know where my stuff at. We are different, and it's okay, to be different as long as, you can respect each other's spaces.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Well, hey, lead or get left. You know what I'm saying? It's more than one way to do it, but whatever works for you. We just wanted to share what, from my experience, what we experienced and go from there, but we all want to grow. We all want to grow and learn and see what ways it is. So I hope that in some kind of way that this, was helpful. That
I think it was. I think a lot of people were saying that they see that it's no. It's
doubt.
Okay to have different perspectives.
Absolutely. I mean, because it is. People are different. People are different, and I just communicate a little bit different, and maybe it's because of my upbringing. Maybe it's some things I just need to change from a mental perspective. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I always say I could definitely use a couple more drops of empathy. But
more drops.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's beneficial, you know what I'm saying? But I also want to make sure that if I do find ways to, have more empathy in certain situations, that it doesn't, uproot everything else that's that's also important to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
No, I get that. Well, I don't know, man. You got anything else?
I'm good for the night.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm good. Oh, you are so welcome. She said, Shavonda said, thank y'all for sharing. I think this is translatable to other things as well. Absolutely.
100%. We just were talking about business, but yeah.
It can go in all aspects of life for sure.
Yeah, from a marriage perspective, just how you parent, you know, the whole nine, man. Because we can have some different perspectives. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. But the goal and objective in all is about the same. It's just how do we get there? You know, what road are we gonna take? Are you gonna drive on the left side of the road or the right side of the road? You know, that type situation.
Absolutely.
You know, you taking the back road or you go take the highway? Where you going? You know, how you go do that? So it's just, you know, it got to work. You know, it has to work for you. It has to work, make you comfortable, until you develop into whatever leadership style it is that best suits, you know, that the situation. You know, it has to be there.
Yep. Well, I think we are good for the night.
Yeah.
What do we have? The marriage and money makeover. Yes. I knew we had a church announcement of some sort. We have the marriage and money makeover challenge that is coming up September the 11th through the 13th with our really good friends Quest
Green
and Faith Green. So if you guys have not
Greenhouse,
check that out. You should join us. We're gonna have a really good time those 3 nights. So this part is for married and engaged couples, you know, obviously, you know, marriage and money makeover there. So if you know some friends, if you're the friends, you know, go to the website, man, and sign up for that challenge. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal time. I know we're gonna have a good time and a lot of information that we're gonna be giving out there,
man. We get ready to shift from a marriage perspective, just, you know, going from good to phenomenal type deal, from shaky to good and good to great. But just really trying to be intentional about it, right? Trying to be intentional about what marriages look like, our understanding of it, and then trying to be intentional about how we build legacy as it relates to our financial components. You know, some things that we could possibly do to make sure that we putting ourselves in a better position for the long term, and some, you know, just low key how to start strategizing on that wealth plan. Right, getting started on something. So those are some things that we're talking about, just some fundamental foundational things, but on a very important topic and very in depth, right? Very, very in depth. We're going to be going and we're going to be really chewing some meat on this. So just hey, tap in, man. We want and like link share it with someone, because if you feel like you got it all figured out, then hey, great, kudos to you. But we 15 years in, and I know we don't have it all figured out. So we be tuning in, we be listening, and I promise you, man, the hose pipe get wet before the yard does. I promise you do. That's just how it works. So hey, tap in. And hopefully we get a chance. We see you there, and we get to grow together there.
Absolutely. Well, thank y'all so much. Y'all make sure y'all share the podcast with some friends, and we will see you guys next week.
All right.